Miller. I am a cosplayer as well as an influencer on both TikTok and Instagram. I've always been like a big fan of Marvel and Star Wars and everything. Those are like my two main fandoms. And last year I actually went to my first convention. It was MegaCon in 2019. And I went there and I kind of had this moment of realization of like, oh, there's other people that like share these interests as me and stuff. Because growing up, like, I had friends, but none of my friends were really interested in that kind of stuff. So I just never really talked about it with anyone, you know. And so yeah, I went to this convention and I was like, this is amazing. Like, it was like heaven on earth for me. And I did wear a Spider-Man suit to my first con. And whenever I went, there was like a big group of Spider-Man cosplayers, and we all kind of just like congregated and like ended up together in this big group. There were probably like 20-30 of us, and we just hung out for the entire convention and like followed each other on socials and everything, and like they kind of like helped me fall in love with it even more. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started into cosplay. I get asked to choose between Marvel and Star Wars all the time, and I don't know if I can choose. If it really came down to it, I would probably say Star Wars. Just because that's like, I became a Marvel fan when, you know, the first MCU movie came out. But I grew up a Star Wars fan. My dad was always like really into it, and he always encouraged like, hey, we should watch a Star Wars movie, hey, we should play Star Wars trivia and stuff like that. So I always grew up with Star Wars. So I think if it came down to it and I really, really had to pick one, I think it would be Star Wars. I also get asked this question all the time. It really depends on my mood. Deadpool's a lot of fun. Like, there's always fun things to do with Deadpool, fun content to make. Spider-Man's the OG, like that's my first cosplay. That's like my favorite superhero ever. So I want to say Spider-Man, I really do. And it sounds so basic, but I just like, he's one of the superheroes that I relate to the most. I also, of course, Star Wars cosplays. I do a Padme and I do a Rey cosplay, and I love both of those characters so much. So I also love doing those. In January of this year, me and some TikTokers actually got invited to the LucasFilm Campus in San Francisco. And I was really, really fortunate. The people that got invited, it consisted of me, my best friend, her boyfriend, my boyfriend, and then a few other friends that like I hadn't met yet, but like I knew we were like mutuals through TikTok and stuff like that. So we had the greatest time. We went there and they gave us a tour of the whole place, and we got to see like all this memorabilia and like props from the movie, and it was so cool. And they had this little coffee place in there, and it was called Jabba the Hutt. It's like Jabba the Hutt. Thanks for laughing. But yeah, it was really cool. And then at the end of it, it was like 3-4 o'clock, and we all flew out around like 7 or 8 p.m. They just brought us into, it was like one of their motion capture rooms, and they were like, here's R2-D2, like the actual like R2-D2, and here's BB-8, and here's some props from the movies, and here's some fun little lightsabers. Go film whatever you want to film. And we were like, because we weren't prepared, like we were just like, oh, we're getting a tour of the campus, you know what I mean? And they were like, yeah, no, go make content. And we were like, oh my gosh, okay. Like, we were so excited. And one of the videos actually did end up going viral. It ended up with like, I want to say it was either 2 million views or 2 million likes, I don't remember. But it was a cute little dance, and it was like all of us in a line like doing the little dance, and then BB-8 was over in the corner dancing too. And yeah, it was so much fun. And the fact that I got to experience it with like some of my best friends it makes it that much better, you know? And even like going off of that, like that's also one of the best things to happen to me through all of this, is like all of the people that I've met and became like my best friends are from TikTok, and my boyfriend is from TikTok. Like my entire life would not be what it is right now without TikTok, and it sounds so weird to say that, but like it's true. But yeah, I'm so beyond blessed for all of that. And I also like am so grateful for the impact that I can have on people, or that I have had, especially the last couple of days. I don't know if you guys have heard, but TikTok's been like, they've been talking about banning it and stuff in the US. And the amount of DMs that I've received of just people like telling me like how much I mean to them and like how I've impacted their lives, and like the fact that I can influence people like that and make them comfortable with themselves and make them confident in themselves like that, it just makes me so unbelievably happy that like I can have that effect on people, and that like I have had that effect on people. It's a blessing for sure. I don't know. If I'm being honest, what I'm doing right now like kind of is a dream outcome for me. Ever since I was little, like I've always wanted, ever since Tumblr, you know, like the Tumblr 2013-14 phase of like, girl, like, you know what I'm talking about? Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be an influencer, and here I am influencing people, and it's weird. Like sometimes I just like forget that that's my life right now, you know? So I'm it sounds cheesy, but like I'm living a dream right now. And in the future, I guess like if I can make this a full-time job, I think that I would absolutely love that. I do want to start developing my YouTube and stuff more, so if that happens, you know, there's hope that maybe that can happen one day. Another like dream outcome for all of this for me, since day one of cosplaying actually, I still remember, it was actually like my first week. I was talking to one of my best friends and I was like, I'm cosplaying and I want to go to children's hospitals. I was like, that's my goal, is like I want to end up visiting children's hospitals in cosplay. And I don't know if you know him, but New York Tony Stark on TikTok and on Instagram, he visits children's hospitals as Iron Man. And he was one of the first people that I ever followed, or like the first cosplayer that I really knew, and his impact for that alone, like it warms my heart so much, and it just like I want to be able to do that, you know what I mean? I want to be able to make kids that much happier. And yeah, so he influenced that part of, you know, the dream that I want, and I'm hoping one day to do it. You know, I'd love to go back to conventions. I miss them a lot. They're actually, the conventions are probably my favorite part of cosplaying. I still remember this one time I went and I was dressed as Raven, and my friend, she was Starfire, and we were walking around and like all these little girls were like, oh my gosh, Starfire, like I love you, you're my favorite. And like I was just like chilling as Raven, like it's okay, like I know. Growing up, Raven was my favorite, and there was this one little boy, and he was probably 5 or 6, and he was so like scared to approach me, and I was like, oh, he's probably scared because like I have like I'm wearing black and, you know, whatever, and I have purple hair, and he's probably just scared of me. But he was actually really nervous, and his dad like leans over to me and he's like, hey, Raven's like his all-time favorite character, and like this is like his dream right now, like if you could take a picture with it. And I was like, of course, like, and it made my heart so happy, and like the kid was so happy, and I got to talk to him like in character, which was really cool. So yeah, so that's, I'm very excited for cons to start back up. So one of my biggest focuses, as I've been developing my TikTok and my Instagram and everything, has been like being inclusive. A lot of fandoms are good with gatekeeping, or you know, some people they gatekeep, and it sucks. And being a female, I feel that, like I understand like what that feels like, and it sucks. And so something that I've really focused on is being inclusive. and like telling everybody like you can like these things and like you're okay, like you don't have to prove to anyone that you like these things. Like if you like them and if it makes you happy, then that's okay. Something else that I focus on a lot is confidence in people. I was not a confident person before social media. Like I hated how I looked, and I just didn't like who I was. And I started social media, and you know, people started like hyping me up, and like I gained all this confidence, and I started cosplaying, and I'm at the point where like I'm so confident in myself, and like I will go out in public in cosplay and I will have no shame. Like I enjoy it, and like yeah, you get weird looks from people, but like it's fun. Like I enjoy it. Like that's what I love doing, and like that's okay. And that's something that like I always preach to my followers, is that like you enjoy this and it makes you happy, and so you need to be confident doing it. Like it does not matter what anybody else says or thinks of you. At the end of the day, like your life is your life, and like you need to make yourself happy first. So yeah, that's something that I've always focused on, and just being who you are. Like I said, growing up, like I never really, and it's not even that I really tried to hide it, but I never really embraced the side of me that liked Marvel and liked Star Wars and liked anime and everything. And social media allowed me to do that, and so I want to make a safe space for everybody that does like these things on social media. And I've made videos about it before of like if you've ever been bullied, or if like you ever have been shamed for what you like this is your place. This is your safe space. You can talk about it here. I will stand up for you in the comments. I will fight for you. Like cosplay, do what makes you happy, everything. So yeah, that's pretty much my brand in a nutshell. I just want people to be comfortable with themselves and happy with themselves and embrace themselves and live their lives how they want to live them, and not by other people's judgments. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for having me on Geeks Gonna Geek. Geeks Gonna Geek. I love it. Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it so much, and yeah. Okay, thank you.